If you know me, you may know that I don't like compliments that well. I don't like accolades either. I don't like being on the forefront of attention. I'd rather be in the background, you know, where people can't see me, where people can't hear me, where people don't notice me. And it's a conflicting thing. At least it was very conflicting at first because I've always hated loneliness growing up. I've always hated being alone. Yet, when I got attention or accolades or praise of some sort, I didn't want it. I didn't want any of it. So, I mean, it sounds conflicting, but it's not. It's so funny, but I eventually learned why it's the way it is. So, prime example. One time I was with my family and we were discussing, I don't remember what it was. And then it came up that, it came up about how when I get complimented, I'm just saying, like, if someone said, "Oh, you look good today," I would go, "Yeah, I know." So one of my family members said, "You can't just say thank you, da da da, whatever." And I said, "Yeah, I don't like compliments. I don't know how to take compliments." And then, of course, it turned into kind of a joke about me not taking compliments that day because, they didn't get it. They didn't understand why I said that. They didn't understand how you can't just take a compliment. And I was trying to explain without going too deep into the reason. But regardless, they didn't get it. They still don't get it. So I'm explaining now a little better that I don't take compliments well, not because I didn't like it. It's because I didn't understand it. So growing up, being constantly teased, picked on by your siblings or your cousins, whatever. And for some people, they can bounce back so easily off those things. But me, I couldn't do it. See, unlike basically all, if not just the majority of the guys in my family, I'm a lot more, I was more sensitive. So minor things broke me. Minor things to them felt like the end of the world to me. Like, it felt like I was so out of place because of how I was always treated. And because I was maybe, at the time, it was harder for me to keep up with certain things. And I didn't know certain things. So it was easy to make fun of me. It was easy to pick on me. You're big-headed, you're stupid, you're big mouth, you talk too much, you're a mama's boy, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. All that stuff shattered me into pieces. Since I was young, I always felt like my family just was different from me. And now it's true. I am different. We're all different in our families. But at the time, my difference, the one I was feeling, was worse. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt like no one cared. At a young age, I always thought I was hated. But of course, I didn't understand these feelings until I got older to really dive back into my past a little bit and say, that's how I felt. That's what I felt. Now it's clicking. Now it's clicking. So, all those years as a little boy, choosing to bottle up my emotions just like the rest of the guys in my family, never just talking out how I felt, never just expressing myself in any other way other than, as I said in my last video, anger. That's how I express myself. It was so easy to do that than just talk it out because, I grew up with the whole concept of, having feelings makes you weak, makes you soft. So Of course, I never actually said how I was really feeling. Also, I didn't understand those feelings. I was a kid. I was way too young to really understand. I didn't have the words to express or explain what was going on in my head or my heart. So that is why I don't. Why I can't. Why it's hard to take on compliments or accolades of any type. Because in my head, initially, the first thing that comes to my thoughts is that potentially you're lying to me. Potentially this isn't real. Potentially this is fake. Because I'm thinking to myself like, they can't be talking about me. I'm no one important. I'm no one special. That's how I always felt growing up. I'm not special. I had to force out my confidence just to make way because, again, to make up for being called names and stuff like that, I had to turn it over and constantly speak it over myself. And eventually, I learned the power of my tongues. And when I got saved and everything. So, turns out this whole time, the confidence that I have now, I have been speaking over myself for so many years to make way. Those words I spoke were my strength. Those words I spoke were my shields. Those words I spoke kept me safe and helped me get better. So yeah, I'm glad that I did do that because if I just accepted all the words that were said about me, I would have been more miserable than I was still growing up. Because regardlessly, I still went through the hurt. I still was depressed. But now I truly believe that those words I spoke over myself were my own seeds. They were my seeds that I planted that didn't grow until I was probably watered with the word and more love and more hope and all. So I thank God that the confidence I have now is no longer forced. It is now 100% genuine. It is now 100% me. So now, when I say something about myself, I truly mean it. I'm not just saying it to try to save face anymore. I'm so happy that I can do that now. For so many years, it was hard. But for a good amount of years, it was worth it. Now, how does that differ from my constant loneliness? Well, it's very simple. You see, you can be the number one guy for anything and all things, and people can praise you and love all that you do. But they love what you do. They love what you did. Guess what? You can praise a chef for his delicious meals and everything. You can credit a chef for his meal. You can credit an artist for their work, their painting. You can credit construction workers for homes or buildings. But yeah, your words put them on a good high, a good pedestal for a little while. Doesn't mean they're not alone. They did what was necessary to do. They did what they had to do. So you're thanking people most times for things, that are just necessary. There are plenty of accolades that are hollow and empty. So that's why when I said that about myself, I take some, I didn't believe it. Because that won't save them from loneliness. Now, you may stop them from having a bad day, which is good. You may encourage them to keep moving, which is good. But being alone is totally different than not receiving some credit. Being alone is so painful because you have no one to lean on, no one to rely on. It's just you and your thoughts all on your own. Which is why I would rather have no accolades and people in my corner than be alone with accolades. It's so, because when you get those praises, who are you sharing them with? Yourself? It's sad, it's depressing, it's lonely, it's hurtful. It's a stab in the chest. If to break from being alone means I have to give up all the credit in the world, all my praises and accolades, I'll do it in a heartbeat. We were not called to walk this earth alone. So why do we chase after hollow thanks?